The alien princess and the kingdom of light far away, in the cold and silent stretch of the Andromeda spiral, there was a planet called Elthera, a world that glowed like sapphire under twin suns. From space, its surface shimmered with rivers of liquid silver and forests that breathed out gentle, luminous mist at night. The air hummed softly with the sound of energy itself, for Elthera was not just alive, it was aware. The planet listened, learned, and whispered to those who respected it. In the heart of Elthera stood Varine, the kingdom of the skyborn. Tall towers of crystal curved upward like frozen lightning, each one pulsing with the memories of the ancestors. The people of Elthera, the Illyrians, were slender beings of translucent skin that glowed faintly in different colors depending on their emotions. They did not speak as humans did. Instead, they communicated through soundless waves of light and vibration, emotions woven directly into air, and among them was Princess Alira, heir to the throne of radiance. Alira had eyes that shimmered violet like the last breath of a dying star, and when she laughed, the crystal towers resonated faintly, as if the world itself responded. But her joy was rare, for she had been born during an eclipse, a moment when both suns were hidden behind Elthera's shadowed moon. The elders had whispered that such children carried both light and dark within them. Some saw her as hope. Others feared she was a sign of a coming storm. From a young age, Alira felt different. While others could merge their light with the planet's heartbeat to heal or grow, she sometimes heard strange voices beneath the hum, echoes from beyond the stars. They spoke in tones that didn't belong to Elthera. When she asked the scholars about them, they dismissed her, saying the young mind often imagined what it could not yet understand. But deep down, Alira knew the voices were real. One evening, as the violet dusk sank into the glowing plains, Alira stood by the sea of silver veins, where light rippled like liquid glass. Her reflection shimmered, and then shifted. For a brief moment she saw not herself, but a face like hers made of shadow and smoke. It smiled sadly and whispered, "They are coming." That night, the stars flickered strangely. 3 moons dimmed at once, and the twin suns rose weaker than ever before. The High Council gathered, their robes glinting with threads of radiant dust. They told Alira's mother, Queen Sarathiel, that a disturbance had been detected beyond the outer rings, something vast consuming energy from dying systems. A cosmic storm, perhaps, or something alive. Queen Sarathiel ordered the Celestial Guard to form a defense barrier around Elthera's atmosphere, but Alira felt the vibration of the planet, fear pulsing through its veins. "The danger is not outside," she said softly. "It's beneath." No one listened. Days later, darkness began to spread in the forests, patches of black crystal that grew like infection, draining light and humming with deep, unnatural sounds. When the scientists examined it, they found no life, no energy signature, only absence. The elders began to whisper again. "The Eclipse Child has awakened the ancient void." Alira's heart broke at their words. Desperate to understand, she went alone to the Hall of Origins, a forbidden library beneath the palace. There, carved into walls of living crystal, were stories older than the suns themselves. She touched one and it glowed to life, showing visions, a war long forgotten. The Illyrians had not always been peaceful. Once they had fought creatures from beyond the veil, the Umbrath, beings of pure darkness that fed on starlight. They were banished to the deep shadow, sealed by the crown of Lumina, a relic now lost to time. The truth chilled her. The black crystal infection was the Umbrath returning. Then, a pulse. The air shook. A deep rumble echoed through Elthera as the barrier around the planet began to fail. In the skies, a rift opened like a wound, and through it poured shapes made of shifting smoke and crimson eyes, silent and endless. Panic spread across the kingdom. The twin suns turned pale. Queen Sarathiel gathered the armies. "We will stand in light," she said, her voice trembling but proud. "Elthera does not bow to shadows." Alira stood beside her, holding the radiant staff of her ancestors, though her hand shook. She could feel something inside her, the dark voice whispering again. You cannot fight what you are. The war began. Light and darkness clashed above the silver seas. Every beam of energy from the Illyrians was swallowed by the Umbrath's void. Towers cracked, forests burned with cold fire that gave no warmth. The planet cried out in pain, its heartbeat slowing. In the final battle, as the skies split apart, Queen Serenity fell, her light extinguished in Alira's arms. You must restore balance, the queen whispered with her last breath, even if it means embracing the dark. Alira wept, her tears glowing as they hit the ground. Then the ground itself opened, revealing a buried crystal spire beneath the palace, the heart of Elthera, the core that bound the world's consciousness. It pulsed faintly, dying. Alira felt its voice in her mind. You are the bridge. She realized then, the darkness inside her was not evil, but a forgotten part of creation itself. Light and shadow were not enemies. They were halves of the same essence. The Umbrath were not invaders. They were lost children of the same cosmic source, seeking to reunite. She stood upon the dying spire, lifted her staff, and opened herself completely. Her body became a vessel of light and shadow intertwined. A storm of energy burst from her, not to destroy, but to heal. She spoke to the Umbrath not in words, but in pure emotion, sorrow, compassion, unity. One by one, the dark shapes stopped, then dissolved into shimmering particles that joined her glow. The black crystal melted back into light. When the storm faded, the sky cleared. The rift closed. The sun shone brighter than ever. But Alira was gone. Only a swirl of violet mist remained, dancing above the spire. Centuries passed. The Illyrians rebuilt. The legend said their princess had become the new spirit of the planet, the keeper of balance, watching from every beam of light and every shadow beneath. On nights when both moons aligned, the sea of silver veins still shimmered with her reflection, her smile calm, her eyes full of infinite stars. Travelers who came from distant galaxies sometimes spoke of hearing a voice there, gentle, echoing across time. Do not fear your darkness, for only by knowing it can your light truly shine. And so the world of Elthera lived on, luminous and eternal, beneath the gaze of the alien princess who became one with her kingdom, the girl who turned war into harmony and shadow into peace.